All right, we're diving right in. The first thing we'd like you to do if you are at home watching, or if maybe you're at practice watching, is take off one of your shoes. Kind of a weird ask, and I have a shoe right here as well. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the parts of our feet, because in order to talk about marching, pivoting, all that good stuff, we need to be specific with where we want to make contact with the drill floor, maybe where we want you to place your weight, and to do that, we need words to talk about our feet. So, as you're holding your shoe, I want you to think, look at the bottom, the sole of the shoe, and I want you to think, where does the arch of your foot sit? For me, it's right here. So one of the big things that we'll be talking about is the arch of our foot. That's the middle of the shoe, the middle of the foot where the majority of our weight might sit if it were evenly distributed. Next, I want you to think about where the ball of your foot sits. For me, it's a little bit higher on that shoe, probably up right about here. That's another important thing that we're going to talk about, and many times we're going to talk about it in conjunction with where our toes sit. So I want you to think where your toes sit. Mine are here. I have short toes, so they don't come all the way up to the front of the shoe, but my toes are here. Now, when we talk about the ball of the foot and the toes together, we're going to collectively refer to this as the platform of our shoe or the platform of our foot. So the platform is the ball of the toe plus the toes themselves equals the platform. Other things that we're going to have to think about. Let's go to the back of our shoe here. I want you to think about where your heel sits in your shoe. Maybe look at that and point to it. Mine sits right here. The heel is a very, very important portion of our foot when it concerns marching, but I want to get even more specific because in the coming videos, we're going to ask you to differentiate between the heel of your foot, which is found on the bottom of your shoe, and now I want you to find what we would call the edge of our heel. And I want you to find that by taking the bottom sole of your shoe and the back of the sole of the shoe, and the point where those two things meet, that triangulated point. Maybe for some of you with gym shoes, it's a little bit more rounded. If you're using dress shoes right now, it's going to be a very sharp corner. That corner where the bottom meets the back, we're going to refer to as the edge of the heel. This is really important because the edge of the heel does not occur on the bottom of the shoe. Rather, it occurs on the edge. And we're going to be very specific about that later on. Other things that we're going to want to think about. Take your shoe if you have it off, and if you balance it on the toe, there's another very important place that we're going to talk about, and that's the tip of our toe. The tip of the toe is actually the front of the shoe. So if you have it balanced on your hand, you are setting your shoe on the tip of its toe for our purposes. Now, I want you now to press down on your shoe. Hopefully it's not a good shoe. You can put some creases in it and press down. When we are talking about the tip of our toe, we are not talking about our shoe compressed in this position. Go ahead and release it. We are talking about no weight, as if it were just balancing on the palm of our hand, resting on the front portion of the shoe. So again, the toe on the bottom of the shoe, part of the platform, the ball and the toe, versus the tip of the toe, which we're really talking about being on the front of that shoe with no weight or very little weight to compress it down. Those are specific places that are very different, and as we continue to explore marching, it'll be important to know the difference between the two. So once again, we have the arch, the ball, toe, together the platform. We have the heel. We have the edge of the heel. We have our toes up here, and we have the tip of the toe on the front of the shoe. The other thing that we can do is we can split our foot side to side laterally. So we may talk about, for instance, weight being on the outside of our foot. Outside would be this side over here, furthest away to the outside of the body. We may talk about weight being to the inside. That would be the inside trailing edge of that shoe. And we may talk about weight being directly down the center or the middle, and that's straight down, cutting directly through the center of your shoe or foot. So these are the basic parts of the feet that we are going to be referencing. Especially make sure we're familiar with the difference between the heel and the edge of the heel, the toe, and the tip of the toe. We want to be as specific as possible as we hop into our next videos. Join us there.